with, let's say, project online, or maybe in the future project for the web. I have also seen other solutions like Jira and this kind of thing. And yes, it is organized. There's only one action item list, so I will have this also a separate place. And if you start it, everyone will get the picture in the beginning, and on the left here, in the middle, in the center picture, on the left, there's the current action item list for the one who is logging in. So 3 of them are red, so please work on them. On the left, there's also documentation, and the worstful thing is that there's only one collection of documentation, one collection of action items, and also the connectivity, or maybe the link from risk mitigation, which maybe is solved, and then the risk owner will get let's say an email or an alert that he has to reassess the risks, will get some speed because you have this kind of workflows pushing things forward. At the end, this is interactive. Also, you will be able to work from your mobile phone, from your tablet, from smartboard, and also from the sheet. And that's why we're driving these things forward, because everyone is able to connect on site during travel and. Yes, there's a framework behind, because we come from 20 years experience how to drive project management forward. We additionally also implement, I don't want to say best in class, but I would say best processes, let's say, for claim management. So these kind of workflows I mentioned earlier are oriented on best processes we have seen in the past at Siemens. And based on that, if you start a new project, you click a button, then the new project will unfold and generate it. And immediately you have some kind of processes, and the first 20 action items you have to solve, how to do a start workshop, and are definitely there in one location. And assume you are an unexperienced project manager. Yes, you are coming from your training, but based on the fact you start your project, it will unfold, and you have right in the beginning the right start set for your specific type of project. That's what we do. As I said, it is let's ensure what is responsive, but you can use a lot of things. So, and that's what I say, having the right technology, having the processes in mind, and also connecting in the world that we are driving things forward. And I have seen this question. And
Hello.
no, I will go forward. I have seen this not only in our, let's say, SharePoint Online solution. I have seen this with Airbus, that they will mainly have a Jira solution. Lufthansa Technik will also have a Jira solution. I have also learned from Vestas that they will have a SharePoint Online version. Maybe we are using these processes differently, but this is the way, let's say, a lot of companies are going forward. And here you see a glimpse of that. Like the more or less classic view with action items, we disconnected data and visualization, so we'll also be able to use the Kanban version of the action items. Yes, we also add a virtual obeyer, like a raw room, so we can skip these pages. Here in the back you see a status report, the time bar or Gantt chart over here. For risk, we use a specific technique I will not show today, with more or less bubbles, and the diameter has also a view on that. We have workflows, and based on that, it's easy to admin. But what I mainly want to like to point out is that it is customized to the specific needs, easy to use, responsive, and that what I have seen in the last half a year, that a lot of companies are going for this kind of way. That's what I want to point out.
May I ask one question, please? Here,
Yep.
this is
Yep.
one of the participants. In large organizations, where they have their own project management processes well defined and being used across the organization, when we use these kinds of tools, what is the degree of customization that they may have to do? Or is it that they have to adapt to the tool itself rather than customize the tool?
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
We definitely have also a specific way of how to do projects documented in, we have a specific PM at Siemens, I would call it Bible, or a huge book. And the tool, that's
Mm.
why it is a SharePoint online solution. The tool will be adapted to processes used. That was the main theme. Not the processes are adapted to the tool.
Okay.
The main theme is behind that is that the tool. That's why it's SharePoint Online. That's why it is Jira. That's why it is, let's say, other solutions. But the tool will be adapted to the processes used. And
Okay.
this is the specific theme I would like to mention.
Okay.
Uh, Um, okay, then let's say briefly talk about this kind of controlling, because the data is always there in SAP and other systems in the tooling I have shown. So data is mainly there, and the question is how to use this kind of data for project controlling and for other things. I will have a brief flyby. Hopefully, you can see all the pictures. So the question is, you have the data, how to use it. The approach is how to connect it from there and have less use of, let's say, additionally what is it, collected data. And let's have a brief flyby because I would like to show one picture. Oh no, it's not there. So what I want to point out is the data is there, and what we mainly use. Sorry, I missed one slide. Is some kind of solutions from Asterix or something like that, where you can connect a lot of databases, have some graphical representation to build up filters and to build up the information you're looking for, build up new tables, and this is based on current data, and you will end up in, let's say, Tableau versions or something like that, where you still connect data from all these systems in data lakes and build your let's say project reporting, yeah, whatever, control tower. Some people have a control tower, and have to control all the projects in their scope. Other ones maybe will give the, let's say, the power or the still to the projects. And here you can see one example for planned and booked hours on a project. Based on that, and maybe they need more people, because you see the white line that they expect that they have more people on the project, and also in which kind of discipline on the right. So what I want to point out, the data is there, and what we mainly use, and sorry for that, I missed one slide, but I can share the slides later on, and then I will add it. We mainly use some tools like Asterix, and collect this data automatically. And also the way to use Asterix is like, I would call it no code. I'm not sure this is low code. I would call it no code, because you will be able to use graphical representation and add-ons to build a graph how the data is processed. And it is more or less a graph where you can use no code to connect all the systems. And that's why it's easy to connect it. That's why I share, you need the capabilities to do digitization. And for this kind of things, we use no code solutions like this kind of Asterix. I will place it also in the slides that we can share afterwards, or we shall share afterwards if it's okay for you. So this is the way we do most project reporting. Sorry for that. This was more or less in a small glimpse right now. And what we definitely have, and I'm pretty sure not all of you have it, uh, but the question is at the end, is it some kind of a digital twin? How to have a representation of the solution in some cases of digital twin. The example I have here is more or less connected to building information modeling. So, but at the end, some kind of digital twin is still used, and it is connected to project management, to phases. So, and you have different roles and uses over there. Some in the architectural phase, building phase, you have an investor, architect, planner, contractor, and they have their own use cases. And what the question with the digital twin is always that the one delivering the data is not the one using the data. And so there's a really imbalance there for people having the benefits, or for people spending time and money. And this have to be solved. So at the end, in BIM, you have a 2D drawing, you have a 3D model. We integrate schedules, so how to build it. We add costs also for future phases, like for maintenance and other things. And there's a lot of things on availability could be added also in the digital twin for building. Yes, at the end you would gain transparency, improve the quality, but this is all about digitization, having digital twins. And yeah, the digital twin is always connected to the, let's say, world or domain where it's coming from. Therefore, maybe it's difficult for trains to have other digital twin than for buildings, and so it's hard a little bit to have the real example. What I can give you here as a glimpse, but what I want to point out first is digital twins are important. Yes, please build it, and they have to be connected to project scheduling. And what I would mainly also say is they have also be connected to specific use cases, like in construction. You have these kind of uh, lots of information at the handovers from idea to planning to construction to operation. And the question is, using digital twin, it will get more smooth. But what kind of use cases, what kind of benefits you definitely would like to use, you have to define. Otherwise, you will have a data lake or digital twin, but you don't know how to handle it. You don't know what to do. And if you don't know the use cases in this kind of digital twins and how to use the benefits, it is worthless to build it, because if you don't know what to do, all the effort spending to build a digital twin is useless. So the use cases you're looking for, and maybe they are connected to availability, maybe they are connected to maintenance, maybe they are connected to operation, have to be defined first before building the right digital twin. Otherwise, you will build a data lake and no one will use it. That's the only topic I would like to stress here. So, and then coming to the last chapter a little bit, what we do definitely, if you have this kind of assets, I showed a glimpse and really a small glimpse and for the moment, is how to drive these forward, how to define a program, and what is necessary to define a program to drive these things forward. And we define some kind of digital project business quick steps. So where's the current standpoint? Where we would like to go forward? What is necessary and what kind of development steps we need? And the interesting thing is, we say we need, let's say, 7 elements, and then one is the data in the middle. So and just give a small sentence to each of these kind of things. It's really necessary to have some kind of digital strategy. If you don't know where to go forward, what is the benefit? So we talk about speed, less quality, non-conformance, because you need some kind of things where we would like to be at the end. You need this kind of, as I said, process digitization. These are the elements I have shown, or things you can do to have more digitized processes. At the end, not at the end, but it's additionally all about culture, because there are a lot of people working with these processes and tools, and you have to take them from position A to position B. So there's a lot of change management also needed. And this is definitely connected also to the employees, to the collaboration you see between departments. And here I mentioned also less silos. This is also connected to the digital twin. As I said, the one delivering the data is not the one using it. And so there's, let's say, an imbalanced situation, and you have to handle it. Otherwise, maybe it gets worse and worse and worse. You need this kind of techniques in information technologies, so you have to be trained over there. We need disruptive approaches, maybe not really 100% disruptive, but you need innovations. This is like you have to be open for new ways of working, to be open for new things. Otherwise, you will say, we did it always in that way for the last 20 years, and you will stop any, let's say, innovation with this kind of sentences. And the best way is if you can show customers additionally, let's say, experiences. Like I mentioned it, being first on customer side because you delivered extremely fast will give the customer a positive, let's say, experience. And then the digitization is valued and based on that, you will have some kind of effect that you will go forward and forward and forward. And these are the elements we would like to stress. And we have some kind of maturity levels, especially for these areas where you stand and where you're going for and where are the lacks. So mainly the lacks could be in culture and leadership, but also in the gaps. Sorry, the gaps could be there, but it could also be innovation area. It could also be that you have the feeling you are the number one in all digitization areas, but if the customer at the end don't sees the or don't have the experience, don't sees the value of it, then the question is why are we doing it at the end? So it has to build some kind of benefit at the end to your customers and clients. If not, the question is why are you doing it at the end? So just if you are building maturity models, then you definitely at the end build a maturity model on that, and that's what we are driving forward. And I just want to mention that there's not only one element, digitization, not only technology. It is just connected to a lot of more than this one element. It had eight dimensions, the dimensions. Sorry for that. So saying that, this was still a glimpse on and really quick walkthrough on what I understand in digitization of project business and smart project management. And if I say, okay, what I say from the top line, broaden your view. Technology is not the most important dimension, and that's what I mean. It's not the most important dimension. The other ones are much more important. As I said, from left to right, AI, yes, should be a base, and I give only one glimpse, but you have to know what kind of AI you use, especially in the execution phase, collaboration, and using these possibilities is key, and having workflows and. As I said, for project controls, the integration and the tooling, using this kind of asterisks, where you can definitely have a no-code solution connecting, at the end, data lakes and data. Uh, for the digital twins, definitely define use cases. Otherwise, the digital twin is not worthful. And as I said in the beginning, you have to know how to do risk management. And what we observed in the last 2 years, that's why I wrote it here on the remote thing, enhanced remote working capabilities, especially for distributed teams. You have to understand how to do risk management remotely, because risk management is a discipline where you need a lot of trust. Or maybe risk analysis is a discipline where you need a lot of trust. And therefore, this is one element where you definitely have to define, let's say, more or less remote working capabilities and how to understand the other one, looking into the screen. And yes, and you have to know what you are doing, especially for your basics. So, and combining these, I would say these are more or less success factors driving digitization. And I will end with a saying from Christian Klein from SAP, and I will read it: in times of transformation, the biggest challenge is not about to apply the technology, it's about to redesign business processes. And I gave you a glimpse on that. And I would also add, not from him, that's more or less from me, it's also to connect people, because my personal view on that is we have to need the people to drive these things forward. Otherwise, it will not work. Thank you. Hopefully, I was not too fast to show you a glimpse of that. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for the invite. I will try to
Thank you, Mr.
close the
Oliver.
camera.
We would
And
request for questions from the participants.
Mr.
wait one
Oliver.
moment. I'm
Vishal,
still
please
not.
continue.
Mr.
Yes.
Oliver, Ananda Kumar here.
Yes.
You are mentioning the innovation and disruptive process is important for the digitalization. How is the disruptive process is becoming relevant in this context?
I'm stressing that in the point that I had two sentences on that. It doesn't have to be just disruptive. If you have a disruptive view on that, it is still also in other digital. What I have new sentence. What I observed in other areas is that some digital use cases are still disruptive. So if we improve our processes in an undisruptive way, we make small steps. So that's why I'm saying think big. So for the explanation or for the first project we did, having the higher speed in proposal phases, the overall target was to speed up the proposal phase or to reduce by 200%, to reduce the proposal lead time down to 50%. This was the overall request. Having this in mind, you need some kind of disruptive ideas. That's what I'm saying. At the end, it doesn't have to be disruptive, but the thinking has to be disruptive to reach a higher level. Otherwise, you will add 3%, 5%, 7%, or maybe also small improvement. That is the thinking I have in mind.
Sure, understood. It's the right one. I have another question. Actually, you are mentioning very rightly. Most of the people conceive digitalization means, using technology and then try to speed up the things and like that. But you rightly said it is the mining of the processes and fine tuning the processes are very important. And how do you see in many of the government organizations or the organizations where there are a lot of procedures and the complex the working arrangements are there, how this is possible to get implemented?
I'm not sure that I got the questions right. What I understood is that the basis of I'm not sure, but that I'm saying in my sense that the basis for project management or what are other things are, and I'm sorry for that. What I understand is that I would say poor, or maybe not in the best shape. And if this is right, and then the distance to having it in digital version is a huge distance. Is this right? Did I get it right?
No, what I was asking is there are processes in several, the large public sector government controlled projects. The processes are all very, very, stringent. So if you have to mine those processes to make it better for the digitalization, how is that is possible to achieve the digitalization?
Okay. So I did not understand it. So the processes are not poor. Their processes are really stringent and unflexible, and that way. At the end, what we do is we show benefits. To make pilot projects, to convince the first ones, and then start some pilot projects, and starting this with that, and convince from a small core to a larger entity to walk forward. This is not new for digitization and project management and since this is true for a lot of areas. So I worked in the mobility and the train sector. And in the past, we had the signals. Right now, we do this kind of signaling over the air with GPS and what is it, mobile phone control. And you need new concepts. And so also the stringent processes will change, but they will change slowly, for sure, I know. And you will only get out of these elements if you find the first one, driving a pilot, maybe carefully, and then let's say enlarge. This is my view on that.
Sure. Thanks. Understand. Yeah. Thank you.
This is we would call it land and expand.
Sure, definitely. Yes, that's a good kind of an approach. Make a pilot, show some small results to the people, and then make it to expand. That's a good idea. Yes.
I have no other recipe.
Thanks, sir.
Anyone else?
Sir, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello. Speak louder.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, this is Advait from Nagpur PMA. Sir, I got one question. Generally, we use Primavera P6 or MSP in terms of digital project management tool. So how this SIPS is going to help us in more means more better way. So that is my question, sir.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I can't answer the question directly because I don't know the tooling, or maybe I didn't understand it right.
Oh.
But I have the feeling I definitely don't know it. The tooling you're using. So I have to do some kind of small.
Okay, sir.
I have to do some kind of small research. To do some small research and then come up with the answer.
Mr. Michael,
Yes, sir.
We will see what we are talking is different. What you are talking about the tools which we use for our computerization. Okay, digital means computerization. But what we are asking digitalizing for it is entirely a different aspect. So you are don't please mix it up.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Michael,
Yep.
I had a question. Could you also explain if this digitalization platform, how this could value add to the contracts process in terms of finalizing contracts just before the execution stage?
But that's benefits are, yeah, differently. Let's say that way. So some people need this kind of speed to the proposal and construction processes. The other one are, and this is true for bigger projects or really large projects. They definitely we have more than 1,000 pages in the RFP and this kind of thing. So the question is, are there some kind of showstoppers? What we know that companies like Linde, Air Liquide, and Air Products, they need compressors from Siemens Energy, and based on that, they definitely and we have to do some water bath testing for the casing, if it's and the density of the casing but you know what I mean. And they're looking for helium pressure tests, and this is a showstopper for us. We will not use helium, and based on that, the add-on is to mark these kind of, yeah, I would call it showstoppers or high risk elements, and then we maybe will not go for the project, or we have a deviation. At the end, the benefit for the execution phase is if you have a, let's say, more solid contract with less risks, the execution phase is less risky without any surprises. So
Yes.
and this is the differences we see is for huge projects, it is more or less with the advantages having less surprises. For smaller projects, and we definitely know that let's say Siemens steam turbine business, they are doing, I'm not sure, but I would say more than 1,000 proposals per year, roughly. And there the question is, they would like to have more speed.
Well,
so
yes, it's interesting that you mentioned risk. Would that also value add in terms of, let's say, balancing out risk between the developer and the contractors? Because
yes, sure, you can use it in that way. So if we define what is risky for us and we will mark it, then the question is, what is the process behind? We can also take the marked document, the marked contract, the marked RFP, our highlighted RFP, go to the contractor or client and say, these are the hugest risks for us, and discuss with the clients if he will let's say, change the RFP in a certain way. I'm not sure about the processes behind that. Is it possible? But at the end, if this could also be a use case that you highlight all your showstoppers and have a discussion with the contractor, and at the end, or client, and I'm sorry, with the client, you are the contractor, and based on that, you will have, after the discussion, you will have a much more solid base for both sides, much more reliable, much more solid for both sides. Yes, of course. This is more or less the question how to use it. The technique, and that's what I'm saying, is still there. The technique on worldwide level is still there to use it. The methods are there. The machines are there. AI is still there, or maybe human rules are there. You can use it. The question is more how to implement it in your case, in your domain.
And in terms of success stories, would you have any sectors that are the where this is the adoption is much more friendly, or is it inherently sector neutral?
The use cases are still different. If I can give you a glimpse on that, 4 years ago, the interesting one was the building business in the US, because there was a specific requirement in contracts in the US which says America first, buy America. If you miss this kind of requirement by America, maybe you will buy a lot of let's say semiconductors and from China and from somewhere. Based on that, if you will miss it, you have a huge NCC on your each of these projects. So this is then they have small projects, really small called building projects for security systems and are from a project scope small. So this was only 4 years ago. They had a lot of things by America. In the train sector, or maybe in the rolling stock, no, not rolling stock, in the rail infrastructure sector, they are not document driven. They are mainly data driven. So they have requirement systems like doors and therefore the apportion process to send it to the right expert will get speed. So there you have speed. In the steam turbine business I mentioned, speed is also the best option because they have smaller projects and they would like to be first on the client side. So there is no what I'm saying is it is always, maybe this is the Siemens scope, it's always technology driven projects. So we have steam industry projects like rail industry building, but I don't have some kind of IT projects at hand. What I also know, and maybe this is one answer to you, the automotive sector has less value. Within the automotive sector, we have less value because RFPs in the automotive sector are much more structured. If the RFP is much more structured and formatted, the risks of not finding things, the risk of finding things in let's say the wrong chapter is really reduced.
Oh, I see.
Therefore, in automotive, the benefit is less. Maybe this answers your question.
Yes. Any use cases in the renewable energy sector? There's a lot of work going on, and I had read that there's a lot of investment in Germany as well. You've got wind energy farms in the north, the seashore, North Germany. So, is there any use case, or you plan to take it in that direction as well?
No. If someone's asking, we will do it. Also in the renewable sector, the what I see, or I would comment is that the RFPs are much more structured.
Okay.
At the end,
Yes.
you will build, let's say, 20 to 300 wind turbines.
Yes. Yes.
And so this is like selling projects. I know that is not that way. There's a contract at the end, but within the project is much more the same product which you deliver on several sites. The problem over there is much more related to project management, logistics. Logistics element on a worldwide basis with vessels, with how to do logistics for the blades and so the problem there, what I see, is more or less on the project execution side. And they also mentioned that Vestas is using still the same solution I showed here with the SharePoint Online. And currently I don't want to talk about Siemens Energy and Siemens Gamesa because there are a lot of things going on the press.
Okay.
So thank you.
So
anyone else would like to ask any question?
Otherwise,
Okay,
Hello.
I will close it, Mr. Vishal.
Yes. So we would like to thank you profusely. Thank you, Mr. Mackel, for a wonderful and highly informative speech. There were many key takeaways from that, particularly the unstructured industries where the RFP is unstructured. So for us, the planning and control area where resource forecasting is where your value adding is a very important area. Given our experiences here in India, I think it will really add a lot of data drivenness and reliability into the planning and control process. Similarly, you mentioned about RFP, contracts, team collaboration, that is the execution part. And you mentioned about BIM, which is the construction part. I think there is a lot that we can take away from that in terms of the Indian industry, infrastructure, construction, and allied sectors, and a lot more. And also a big thank you for all the participants and the attendees for making it here. And it's really a pleasure to have you, Mr. Mackel, and all of you participants for this wonderful session.
Thank you for
very
your
much,
time.
Michael. We are very grateful to you for giving a complete overview of Siemens, particularly in the energy sector. There are participants who are in the energy sector and consultancy. They will definitely be useful. The information what you gave will be useful to us. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you also from my side. Let's say, I would say nice evening. I missed 2 slides. I will also edit, and then if you can, you can do. I'm not sure that you will place it somewhere. So thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. Keep in touch. We keep in touch.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Nice
We will be in touch. We will be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Purely good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Many participants are still there in the. So please, make use of our PMA. If you are not a member or if you don't have the certificate, please join us. Get certified as a professional.
Good evening. Though a little late.
Good evening. Good evening. Any participant, any question you want to ask in general?
Sir, I am already level C certified.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Pillai sir, good evening. This is Amarnath Saha from Bajaj Energy.
Okay.
Hello. Sir, already I am certified in 2017. But in our company, there are so many other people. So we are level C certified from IPMA. So, sir, right now in April, our certificate will be expired. To what to do to again renew that certificate, sir?
So there's a procedure we have got for renewing the certificate or to upgrade. There are 2 things. From level C, you can go to B, or in the level C, you can, ask for, continuing it. So there is a small procedure involved, and if you send a message to Mr. Agarwal, Aravind Agarwal, he will send you the details with the form.
Sir, I am in talks with your HR. Avinav Bharatoj talks with me. He's talking the same lines, and we'll discuss with him, and we can do it. We can.
Okay.
Please send the details to him.
Right, sir. Sir, they are going for a new batch also in April.
Yes. Okay.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other participant want to ask anything? Because we want more members certified. There are a lot of people there. You want to ask any question? Hello? Okay, then thank you all participants. Next, for another occasion, we will meet 5th March we'll have the next session. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You joined late, slightly late, I think. Mr. Jamshin.
No, I was there in the beginning when the presentation started. I was struggling with the little bit on the joining side. Doesn't matter.
Okay. So, Srinivasan, I got your mails.
Oh, fine, sir. Fine.
So, the Dalmi I am sending now.
Yeah, right, sir.
Okay, thank you. I will see. I
Thank
will
you, sir.
sign off.
All right, so we say bye. Good day.
Thank you.
Sushil can end the meeting.
Sushil, we can
Thank
sign
you,
off.
sir.
Sushil?
Or Vishal. They are left, sir. Both of them are left. I think we can
Sushil
click
is
on
there.
the
Huh?
leave
Sushil
button.
is there. Sushil is there. Sushil is there.
Srinivasan, we are meeting
Yes.
on 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. Monday?
4 p.m., sir. 4 to 5. 4 to 5.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
I have sent the invite.
Good.
मैडम गाड़ी की सर्विस नहीं करानी है अभी. Thank you.
अरविंद जी,
हाँ.
गुड आफ्टरनून तो करो.
गुड आफ्टरनून सर. पहले कर चुका मैं तो. आप जो आए थे ना पहले बार में, तब मैंने नमस्ते कर लिया सर.
मैं इधर ही था, but I was keeping incognito.
I know that. You can't keep yourself this thing. I know that, sir.
I was there, but frankly, I didn't understand much of the presentation. That's between you and me.
No, I agree with you. Last time was better.
Yeah.
Last time was better.
Sir,
He's from which
some
country?
attendees are still there, sir.
Germany.
No, Germany, but I don't think he's a German. He's some other.
He's a German. But the immigrant, he said. He's an immigrant. He's not a born German.
That's
He's
what
now
I said.
settled
He's
in Germany. Yeah.
from some other country. His accent is
He
not
told
German.
that.
Friends are there who are there now?
One of the East European countries, maybe.
Maybe, yes.
Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
right. Good evening and almost no good night now. Good evening to all of you. Bye.
Bye, sir.